These 5 common foods become toxic when reheated and may lead to cancer or dementia. Doctors warned, did you know that reheating your favorite healthy leftovers could silently damage your brain or raise your cancer risk? It sounds unbelievable, doesn't it? After all, you've been doing it for years, saving time, money, and effort by warming up last night's dinner. But what if that simple act meant to nourish your body is actually harming it? If you're over 65, your body doesn't handle toxins like it used to. And some common foods ones we trust and eat all the time can turn toxic when reheated. This isn't fear-mongering, it's medical science, and in this video we'll reveal 5 everyday foods that become dangerous after reheating and how you can avoid these hidden risks with simple changes. Before we begin, I'd love to hear from you. Where are you watching this video from, and what time of day is it for you? Drop a quick comment below, even if it's just a small slice of your day. I truly appreciate it. If you find this information helpful, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any of our upcoming health tips designed just for you. Let's get started. You probably know the routine. It's late afternoon in a quiet home in Arizona, or maybe upstate New York, and you're feeling a little hungry. So you open the fridge spot last night's dinner, maybe a baked potato, some sauteed spinach, or a few slices of chicken, and pop it in the microwave. It's quick, it's easy, and you've done it 100 times before without thinking twice. But what if this familiar habit, one that feels smart and efficient, is quietly putting your health at risk? What if something as simple as reheating certain foods could slowly harm your brain, your heart, or your digestion without a single symptom at first? It sounds dramatic, even a little far-fetched, but science says otherwise. Some of the most common foods we Americans love and trust, especially in our older years, can actually become toxic when reheated the wrong way. You see, as we age, our bodies don't handle chemical changes the same way they used to. Your liver, your gut, even your immune system, they all slow down, becoming more vulnerable to things you can't see or taste. When certain foods are cooked, stored, and reheated, especially in a microwave, their molecular structure can shift in ways that produce harmful byproducts. And for people over 65, those byproducts don't just pass through. They linger, they accumulate, and over time they can affect your energy, your memory, and your peace of mind. In this video, we're going to uncover 5 everyday foods that doctors warn against reheating, and not because they taste bad, but because they can harm the body in ways most people don't realize. You'll learn what really happens inside that microwave, why it matters more after 60, and most importantly, how to make simple, safer choices without giving up the meals you love. Before we dive in, I want to hear from you. Where are you watching this from, and what time is it for you right now? Is it morning in Florida with coffee by your side, or maybe evening in Oregon after a quiet dinner? Leave a comment below and let me know. I genuinely look forward to hearing from you. Even the smallest window into your daily life means a lot to me. And if you find this kind of content helpful, real, thoughtful, and made just for older adults in America, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel so you won't miss what's coming next. Your health deserves more than shortcuts. It deserves attention, understanding, and care, starting with something as simple as what you do in the kitchen. Let's begin with something that seems as innocent as a leafy green on your dinner plate: spinach. You've probably heard it's one of the healthiest vegetables, and it is when eaten the right way. Packed with iron, vitamin K, and antioxidants, spinach has long been praised by doctors and nutritionists across America. It shows up in everything from omelets in Florida diners to green smoothies in California kitchens. But here's the part most people don't know. When cooked spinach is stored in the fridge and then reheated, especially in the microwave, it doesn't stay the same. Spinach naturally contains nitrates, which help improve blood flow and lower blood pressure, both great things for older adults. However, when exposed to heat a second time, those helpful nitrates can convert into nitrites and then into nitrosamines. These nitrosamines have been linked to cancer and neurological decline, especially in studies from the National Cancer Institute and the World Health Organization. Now, here's why this matters more as we age. Our bodies become slower at detoxifying these compounds, meaning they can build up and silently damage cells in the brain and gut. Over time, repeated exposure may contribute to inflammation, memory loss, or even conditions like dementia. It doesn't happen overnight, but it begins with habits that seem harmless, like reheating a spinach casserole for lunch. Imagine this, it's Wednesday afternoon and you're home alone. You reheat Sunday's leftover spinach soup. It smells fine, tastes fine, and you feel good about eating healthy. But beneath the surface, that reheated spinach may now carry toxic compounds that your aging body can no longer handle the way it once did. The solution: spinach is still a fantastic food, just enjoy it fresh, or if it's been cooked, eat it cold from the fridge. Think spinach salad or cold vegetable soup with olive oil and lemon. If you must reheat, use a stovetop on low heat and never microwave spinach more than once. It's not about fear, it's about wisdom. You've lived long enough to know that the little things matter, especially when it comes to your health. And choosing how you eat spinach may be a tiny change that protects your mind and memory in the years to come. If this surprised you, or if spinach is something you eat often, comment number 1 below and let me know. We're in this together, learning, unlearning, and taking care of our bodies one choice at a time. Next up is a food that brings comfort to almost every table in America: the humble potato. From creamy mashed potatoes at Thanksgiving to crispy roasted wedges on a Sunday evening, potatoes are a part of our traditions. They're affordable, filling, and easy to prepare, and many older adults love cooking a big batch to enjoy over several days. But here's where things get tricky. Potatoes don't always play nice when they're reheated. When you cook a potato, its starches soften, making them easy for your body to digest. But once that potato cools, especially in the fridge, those starches begin to change. They turn into something called resistant starch, which your body treats more like fiber. In small amounts, that's not a bad thing. In fact, it can support gut health and blood sugar balance. But the problem begins when you reheat those cold potatoes, especially in foil or using a microwave. You see, leftover potatoes can become a breeding ground for a dangerous bacteria called Clostridium botulinum. This bacteria thrives in low-oxygen, starchy environments, exactly what happens when you store foil-wrapped potatoes. And the worst part, this bacteria doesn't change the smell, color, or texture of the potato, so you wouldn't even know it's there. Even low levels of the toxins it produces can cause nausea, dizziness, and in rare cases, serious neurological issues. Older adults are especially at risk since the immune system weakens with age and struggles to fight off bacterial invaders. And let's not forget the gut-brain connection. What happens in your digestive tract can affect memory, mood, and clarity. Picture this. You bake a tray of potatoes for dinner in your cozy Michigan kitchen, wrap a few leftovers in foil, and place them in the fridge. 2 days later, you reheat one in the microwave thinking it's a quick and healthy lunch. But that one small step may quietly introduce harmful bacteria into your system, and over time that risk builds up. Here's what you can do instead. If you're going to save leftover potatoes, let them cool quickly, unwrap them, and store them in airtight containers. Avoid foil for storage, and try not to reheat more than once. For best results, use your stovetop or oven for even gentle heating, or enjoy cold potato salad with fresh herbs and olive oil. You don't have to give up potatoes. You just have to treat them with a little more care, especially after 60, when every small choice can protect your long-term health. If you've ever stored potatoes in foil or reheated them straight from the fridge, comment number 2 below. No shame here, we've all done it. But today you know better, and that matters. Let's talk about a breakfast staple that shows up in nearly every American kitchen: eggs. Scrambled, boiled, poached, or tucked into casseroles, eggs are part of our lives from childhood into retirement. They're affordable, packed with protein, and rich in choline, which supports memory and brain health, especially important as we age. It's no wonder many older adults hard-boil a dozen eggs on Sunday to have quick meals throughout the week. But here's something few people talk about: reheating eggs, especially in the microwave or with high heat, can quietly change them for the worse. When you first cook an egg, the proteins naturally unfold and firm up. That's called denaturation, and it's perfectly safe. But when you reheat those already cooked eggs, especially unevenly or too hot, those same proteins begin to break down again. The result, a rubbery texture, a sulfur-like smell, and more importantly, a change in the cholesterol structure that could trigger inflammation. Scientists have found that oxidized cholesterol created when egg yolks are reheated too harshly can contribute to heart disease and even memory problems. Over time, this inflammation doesn't just affect your arteries. It may quietly impact the brain, contributing to cognitive decline, fogginess, or worsening conditions like dementia. And while one egg won't make the difference, repeating this habit day after day, week after week, absolutely can. Now picture this. You're sitting in your warm kitchen in Ohio on a Wednesday morning. You grab a boiled egg from the fridge, pop it in the microwave, and take a bite. It's quick, familiar, and seems healthy, but what you don't see is the hidden damage happening beneath the surface. That egg might now carry oxidized cholesterol compounds that your aging body struggles to eliminate. So what's the safer way forward? Enjoy your eggs fresh whenever possible, or if you batch cook them, eat them cold, sliced in salads or tucked into a sandwich. If you need to warm them, use a stovetop on very low heat and only reheat once, never again and again. And if your egg smells off or feels rubbery, it's a sign to let it go. Your body deserves better. Eggs are still one of the most nutrient-dense foods we have, but only when handled with care. At this stage in life, small choices like this aren't just about health. They're about protecting your independence, energy, and clarity. If eggs are something you keep in your fridge each week, let me know by commenting number 3 below. Tell me how you love to prepare them and maybe how you'll change things starting today. Now let's talk about chicken, a true classic on American dinner tables from coast to coast. Whether it's grilled on a summer evening in Texas or roasted with rosemary in a quiet Pennsylvania kitchen, chicken is trusted for its lean protein and simplicity. Many of us cook it in large batches, hoping to save time through the week. You might keep it in the fridge, reheat it for lunch or dinner, and feel good knowing you're eating something healthy. But here's what few people realize: reheating cooked chicken, especially using the microwave or high heat, can actually change the very structure of its protein. You see, when chicken is first cooked, its proteins are denatured, softened, so your body can digest them easily. But reheating those same proteins a second time, particularly if unevenly, makes them tougher, more rigid, and harder for your aging digestive system to handle. That's why reheated chicken often feels rubbery or dry. It's not just about texture, it's about what's happening inside the food itself. And for people over 65, this matters even more. Our stomach acid weakens with age. Our digestive enzymes slow down. So when we eat proteins that have been cooked and reheated harshly, they don't break down the way they used to. This leads to bloating, discomfort, or that sluggish, heavy feeling you can't quite explain. But it doesn't stop in the gut. It can trigger systemic inflammation, a silent stressor linked to heart disease, joint pain, and memory loss. Scientists have also found that reheating meats like chicken can produce something called advanced glycation end products, or AGEs. These compounds form when proteins and fats are exposed to high heat repeatedly, and they're known to accelerate aging inside the body. AGEs don't just make you feel stiff or tired. They quietly damage cells, especially in the brain and arteries, and over time they wear down your body's ability to heal and protect itself. Now picture this. It's Tuesday afternoon, and you're alone at home in Minnesota. You reheat Sunday's leftover chicken breast in the microwave. It looks fine, but it feels tough and not quite right. That subtle change in flavor and texture is your first clue. The second clue, that heavy, tired feeling afterward that you've grown used to but shouldn't have to accept. So what's the better option? Cook smaller portions of chicken when you can. If you must reheat, use the stovetop or oven at low heat and try not to microwave it unless absolutely necessary. Or get creative, turn cold chicken into a salad with greens, nuts, and a splash of vinaigrette. Sometimes eating it cold is not only safer, it's also more refreshing and easier on your digestion. You don't have to give up the foods you love. You just need to adjust the way you prepare and enjoy them with care, with thought, and with your long-term health in mind. If reheated chicken is something you've relied on or plan to rethink, comment number 4 below and share your thoughts. Your story may help someone else make a better choice today. Let's take a closer look at one of nature's quiet superfoods, mushrooms. They've become a favorite across America, from shiitake in California, stir fries to cremini mushrooms in Midwestern casseroles. They're earthy, low in calories, and packed with nutrients that support heart health, immunity, and even brain function. In fact, some studies have suggested that eating mushrooms regularly may help slow cognitive decline. But just like with the other foods we've covered, how you prepare mushrooms matters, especially when it comes to reheating. Unlike most vegetables, mushrooms contain a unique combination of delicate proteins, enzymes, and fats. When cooked fresh, these compounds break down just right, releasing flavor and nutrition your body can absorb. But when you reheat mushrooms, especially in the microwave or at high temperatures, those same compounds begin to deteriorate. They don't just lose flavor, they can turn into substances your body struggles to digest. This matters more than you might think. As we age, our gut becomes more sensitive and our enzyme production slows. So if you reheat mushrooms that have been sitting in your fridge for a day or two, you might notice gas, bloating, or that uncomfortable, heavy stomach feeling afterward. But digestion isn't the only concern. There's something deeper happening on a cellular level. Improperly stored or reheated mushrooms can oxidize, meaning their fats and proteins break down into compounds that may contribute to oxidative stress. And oxidative stress is a major player in aging, inflammation, and neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's. It's not that mushrooms are bad, far from it, but when reheated the wrong way, they can lose their healing power and quietly add to your body's hidden burdens. Imagine this: you've made a beautiful mushroom risotto for dinner on Monday in your cozy New Hampshire kitchen. By Wednesday, you reheat the leftovers in the microwave, but the mushrooms are now chewy, soggy, and lack that rich, savory aroma. That change in texture is more than just disappointing. It's a sign that their structure and nutrition have broken down. Here's how to keep mushrooms on your plate safely and deliciously. Try cooking just what you'll eat fresh, or if you have leftovers, store them in glass containers to avoid moisture buildup. Avoid microwaving them instead. Warm gently on the stove, or better yet, enjoy them cold in salads with a splash of olive oil and lemon. You deserve food that heals and energizes, not food that quietly weighs you down. And when it comes to mushrooms, a little extra care goes a long way toward protecting your digestion, your energy, and your brain. If you've ever noticed reheated mushrooms taste off or leave you feeling heavy, comment number 5 below. You're not imagining it. And now you know why. At this point, you might be wondering, why do these small things like reheating spinach or potatoes seem to matter more after we turn 60 or 70? Why is it that something we could once eat without a second thought now leaves us feeling bloated, foggy, or just not quite right? The answer lies not in weakness, but in change. The quiet, gradual changes our bodies go through as we age. You see, in your 30s or 40s, your liver, kidneys, and digestive system are working like a well-oiled machine. They can filter toxins, break down food, and flush out what doesn't belong, often without you noticing. But by the time you reach your 60s, that system begins to slow down, just like a trusted car that's seen a lot of miles. It still works, but it needs more care, more intention, and fewer surprises. Your stomach doesn't produce as much acid, making it harder to digest tough proteins and starches. Your liver clears out toxins more slowly, and your gut bacteria, which help protect your brain and immune system, may not be as diverse as before. Even your brain becomes more sensitive to inflammation, meaning that what you eat doesn't just affect your belly, it affects how clearly you think and how steadily you move. This is why foods that change chemically when reheated can have a bigger impact on older adults. Not because your body's broken, but because it now needs support, not added burden. And when you repeat small habits like reheating chicken in the microwave or eating old potatoes from the fridge, the effects don't always show up right away. They creep in slowly, as fatigue, digestive trouble, forgetfulness, or just feeling not like yourself anymore. But the good news, this also means that small changes, like storing food properly, choosing gentler reheating methods, or eating leftovers, cold can make a powerful difference, not just in how your body functions, but in how you feel each day, your energy, your clarity, and your sense of control over your own health. Aging in America today isn't easy. You're balancing medications, doctor visits, fixed incomes, and sometimes a sense that your body's working against you. But here's the truth, you're not powerless. And the first step to protecting yourself is understanding how these everyday choices right in your kitchen affect the systems that keep you strong. If you've ever felt like your body has changed in ways that doctors don't always explain, if you've noticed that some foods don't sit right like they used to, comment number 6 below and let me know. You're not alone and you're not imagining it. If you grew up during tough times, maybe the Great Depression, or just years when money was tight, you were taught never to waste food. Wrap it up, save it for later was more than advice, it was a way of life. And for many older adults across America today, that habit still holds strong. Cooking in bulk, saving leftovers, and reheating meals feels smart, efficient, and responsible, especially when you're living on a fixed income. But here's where things get complicated. What we do in the name of saving time and money can sometimes work against our health quietly, invisibly, and over time. You might cook a big pot of stew on Sunday in your Ohio kitchen, eat it for lunch through Wednesday, and reheat it each day in the microwave. That may seem harmless, even virtuous, but each cycle of reheating, especially in plastic containers or at high temperatures, changes the food in ways you can't see. Proteins, hardened fats oxidize, and hidden compounds build up, none of which are printed on a label or mentioned in your recipe book. Plastic containers, for example, can leach chemicals like BPA or phthalates when microwave chemicals that interfere with hormones and may increase cancer risk. Leaving food out too long before storing it, that's an open invitation for bacterial growth. Reheating the same dish over and over again, that creates a stew of compounds your older body may no longer process easily. And yet these habits feel so normal, so American. We were told to use every part not to waste to stretch our meals. But no one told us that stretching too far could stretch our health thin. No one explained that after 65, your body may need fresh food, more often smaller portions, and storage methods that protect rather than poison. This isn't about guilt, it's about awareness. Because when you know better, you can do better and still be wise with your resources. Maybe that means cooking half the amount you use to freezing small portions instead of reheating all week or switching from plastic to glass containers. Little shifts, big results. If you've ever felt proud of stretching your meals across several days, but also noticed your stomach or energy doesn't respond, the same, comment number 7 below. You deserve to be safe, not just smart, and you can be both, starting with what's already in your kitchen. Here's a thought that might surprise you. Sometimes the healthiest way to enjoy your food is to not reheat it at all. That's right. While many of us grew up thinking hot meals were somehow better or safer, the truth is some foods actually keep their nutrition and safety better when eaten cold. Think about a fresh spinach salad or a cold pasta bowl tossed with olive oil and herbs. Imagine a leftover chicken breast sliced over greens with some walnuts and cranberries, no microwave needed. These meals are not only easier on digestion, they also preserve more nutrients and avoid the risks that come with repeated heating. And for older adults, especially those dealing with acid reflux, gas, or slower digestion, cold meals can actually feel lighter, cleaner, and more energizing. There's real science behind this. Some foods like cooked starches and proteins become less digestible when reheated, especially in the microwave. Others, like leafy greens or eggs, can form harmful compounds under high heat. But when eaten cold from the fridge to the plate, they skip that second transformation and your body gets a cleaner version. And let's talk convenience. You don't have to stand at the stove, worry about uneven heating, or wash another pan. Just open your fridge, build a plate with what you love, and enjoy it as is, maybe with a little lemon juice, some fresh cracked pepper, or a drizzle of healthy oil. This kind of eating isn't just for fancy cafes in Portland or wellness blogs in California. It's practical, nourishing, and easy for any American kitchen. If you've never tried eating leftovers cold, or you've always reheated out of habit, consider experimenting this week. Maybe start with a cold egg salad, a slice of mushroom quiche, or that leftover baked potato turned into a chilled herb salad. Your gut might thank you. Your energy might rise, and you just might find yourself enjoying meals in a whole new way. If this idea feels refreshing, or if it sparks a memory of a time you enjoyed a cold meal on a summer day, comment number 8 below. Let's remind each other that sometimes health doesn't come from doing more, but from doing things a little differently with care. And as we wrap up today's video, I hope you're walking away with a simple yet powerful reminder that small everyday choices, like how we reheat or store our food, can quietly shape our health in the long run. It's not about being perfect. It's about being more mindful, one meal at a time. If you're dealing with specific health issues or symptoms, remember these tips are shared for general awareness. If you're facing any health challenges, be sure to check with your doctor before trying anything new. Now I'd love to hear from you. What part of this video spoke to you most? Was there a tip you're planning to try, or maybe something that made you go, "I never knew that"? Go ahead and comment below, even just the word hope, if this brought you some peace or clarity today. If you found this helpful, don't forget to subscribe, tap the notification bell, and share this video with a friend, neighbor, or family member who might need it. Let's keep growing together, one thoughtful choice at a time. And until next time, may your days be light, your meals be healing, and your heart stay full of quiet joy. Take care, and see you soon.